Spectrovision Radio.
Yeah. So Shannon, what if we, do what we did with that last photo?
Let's do
Zoomed
that.
in?
Let's go. Zoom. Oh. Hmm. Gosh, I can see like a hairline in this one.
Oh yeah.
What the hell, Paul?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can see eyes. You can almost see what.
Look at the
what
eye.
teeth-
Okay, I'm sorry. That I just saw like the eye. Oh, okay, now my brain is really having a conniption because the eyeball right here under my cursor. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
That one got me. You got me. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And if you look really closely, there's
There's
his nose. There's the other, what should be the other eye,
other
and there's
eye.
his mouth
And there's
and teeth. You can kind of make out teeth.
Oh, for the love of Pete. What? Oh, no. Oh. I'm going to see this face in my dreams later.
With infinite complacence, people went to and fro over the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small, spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time and space.
On this episode of Into the Fray, I welcome Paul Dulski back on with me, and he is of Haunted Vermont. And Paul's very first visit was 524, and the second one was 536, where he and his friend Justin joined me. And on 524, the first visit, we talked about a very haunted farmhouse, essentially poltergeist activity, all that good classic ghosty stuff. And then the second episode, we talked about the same property, except Justin, who joined us, actually did in fact live there. That was his place. He experienced it. So it was interesting to get both sides because you guys, of course, have your own perspective of the same experiences. And this time around, though, we are going to focus more on Paul's side of things, not having to do with the farmhouse. We've already covered that plenty, but some of his own personal experiences and investigations. So, Paul, welcome back on.
Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, spit out your website right out of the gate in case people want to just go over there and check it out whilst we are beginning this chat.
hauntedvermont.org, O-R-G. There you go, everybody. All the links are there and everything. I'm pretty much just like getting ready to prepare myself for this because depending on how far we get, some of this I've actually been going back and rewriting down like the stuff that has happened to me because I remember specific things, but not all of the stuff, because depending on some of these locations might require coming back on again, unfortunately, just because of everything else. So
no, that's great. I personally, and I find others do as well, is 2-parters, 3-parters, more if we need it. I'm a big fan of recidivist guests, so you don't have to worry about that, Paul. So if you need to come back, we will. Okay, so I know that right off the bat in this beautiful bullet point list that you sent me, thank you so much, is the 90s. And we've already talked about the missing doorknob, of course, and the farmhouse. Did we cover the voices in the attic? I do not recall if you mentioned that. Did you?
For you, no. That
Okay.
came after. I added this note in afterward because, again, it's just one of those things where do I just share it anyway because it just may not be nothing, but then like maybe it could be something for all I damn well know. So, it's just one of those weird moments in time, I guess, where was it something or was it not? So yeah, let me cover that one real quick. That's a nice little sweet little jester one. So anyway, if anybody remembers my old layout of the idea of the second floor, where like it's, and maybe just for giggles, I'll just do it again. Whereas if you come in through the front entrance of my old home, immediately to your left would be the staircase where you just climb up and get to the second floor. So from there, my what I would consider the big bathroom would be right there to my left, whereas it would be my sister's room, my parents' room, and the room where the mist and doorknob pretty much took place. Anyway, so if you don't go into the big bathroom right away and you look straight up, that is where my old attic used to be, or our old attic, however you want to do that. Again, I just want to point out that once again, this is the side of our house where it would be connected, I would say, to like what would have been my old grandparents' house. And basically, from there, I'll just say it was just one night where I was sleeping and I just started hearing almost like people were chattering, almost like people were playing poker or something, just having fun, or some sort of playing of a card game. I'm just saying poker because I just know sometimes when people would poker, they tend to have more fun that way. But yeah, it was just really weird. I just remember it was like coming toward what I would consider at the time the big bathroom. And I just want to say if it was my parents' TV, even though if they were to have their door either wide open or shut, you still have that envision of the TV glowing at night. So you would be able to see like that light that the TV is signifying that it is in fact on. Whereas if I know that it's not on because, well, there's no glow effect of a TV basically saying it's on. From there, though, it's like, well, what was it? Was it actually something going on in the attic, or was it maybe my grandparents' bedroom because of it connecting from like the bathroom wall to their bedroom? And maybe somehow their TV is penetrating enough through the wall to make it sound like there's a commotion going on. But I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, when I talked about this again at a different lady show recently and stuff, I was just like, this is where I wish I could almost remember more about my old grandparents' place, just because all I recall about it is like the indoor like porch area where during the summertime it was nice and cool to just hang out and stuff like that. Then as you walk into their place, you're immediately in the kitchen, and if you go to the left all the way down, that's their living room. But even before that, there's a door that leads you down into the basement. And then if you walk around from that area is where their stairs would be to head upstairs. Now that's where I can't remember which room would technically be theirs or the guest room, unfortunately. But yeah, that's really it. I don't really know any much more detail than that.
I mean, is there any thought that you spent so much time at Justin's place that something had possibly followed you home?
So this would have been before Justin.
Oh, okay. How many times did it
Yeah.
happen?
Maybe a few times, maybe once. It's hard to really say. That's why I say maybe it was their TV, but they just had it on loud for all I know.
Okay. That's worth mentioning. Like you said, you never know. All right. So
Okay.
2007, we're going to go to the abandoned church scream. And I want to say before we even start all this, is that Paul was kind enough to send along a bunch of photos on site and a couple of videos. So we are going to be showing all kinds of things. So let's go to that band photo, shall we? You got that, Paul? That good?
Yep.
All
Yep. I see it.
right.
I see it. Yeah, it's definitely like MySpace quality, as you can kind of tell with the size of this thing. But yeah, that was the old abandoned church. Everybody kind of went there to try to find ghosts. We never did. We just went there because it was just creepy and cool to have picture taken and whatnot. Now, what's interesting about this area though is it's right by a pond. They call it Schmiss Pond or something like that. Not only that, but from where the church is, I would say about 100 yards down the road, there's like this weird turn in the road where you go underneath like this little passage thing. But if you look up at this uh, hill foresty area, if you're not really paying attention, there's old foundations there. And I have no idea what company it was, but there's old foundations even there as well. And then if you go down the road past the church, it's there's like even like a Whipple Hollow cemetery. So that's pretty much where the Whipple Hollow folks, where our legend of during the marble industry, when the marble kind of dried up, the town of Whipple Hollow basically just like packed up all their stuff and left. So that's our little ghost town, which I did try to reach out a long time ago to see if I could like find any sort of documentation that there was like some sort of old settlement where these people maybe got up and left during the marble industry, but they basically said that they can't find any record, but that doesn't really, like, to me, that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes it could very well be that there was, but there was no recorded, record to show. Otherwise, maybe there wasn't, and somehow the legend was just born that way.
Yeah, lots of creepy areas over there. Very old part of the country, a lot older than this side of things. So you guys have a lot of places to go visit that might have such creepy crawlies or ghosts. Okay, so 2009, the Black Dot. Does this have any photos that we need to pull up for this one, Paul?
No, but
Okay.
to continue on with the abandoned church one real quick.
Oh.
But basically, yeah, basically for that band photo one that Shannon showed, basically this area just it's creepy enough as it is, but I've been there multiple times, and that kind of plays into a few stories where, like in this case, while we took that picture that you had shown up, it was like this blood curdling, like a woman had died and scream just came out of nowhere. But we all kind of just started chuckling and laughing because it was just like, man, that couldn't have happened at the greatest time when we're all trying to take band photos and stuff like that. But we didn't think anything of it because we just knew animals can make that sound, and that's kind of how we did it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to point out like the weird part, which is we're right by a pond. There's other old foundations besides this abandoned church as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but that church comes into play later on again.
Okay. Yeah, go right ahead.
Well, which one would you like me to go into now?
Well, the next one's Black Dot.
Yes, so the Black Dot. So, man, let's see. So, that was during my traffic control time. This is one of those ones where I will not go down yet to say that it was a UAP, UFO. For all I know, it could have been a damn drone. But I have done my research on this time frame of drones and stuff like that. And basically, it was off of Route 22A here. I don't know if I was in Fairhaven area, whatever, for people that may know the area. But we went there on a clear blue sky. And what was odd was when we got there, I didn't think of anything of looking up into the sky or whatever, and kind of did our job and stuff like that. But at one point, it must have been slow enough where I kind of was like looking up at the sky and there's just black dot just stationary right in the middle of the sky. And I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, well, we're supposedly here trying to fix the poles or whatever we were doing, these cables, because supposedly some flood came along and like kind of almost wiped out the colony or the community there, and a few people actually died because of the drowning. And so anyway, I didn't think anything of it at the time of this black dot because I was just like, well, maybe it's the news anchors or whatever just getting shots for later on or whatever. And but then we went to lunch, and lunches for us can be 30 to 45 minutes depending on how long the cable people want to do their breaks, basically. But anyway, as soon as we came back, I noticed that that dot was still there, and I was just like, okay, whatever. I once again didn't think anything of it, but then I started to really start to question this black dot when we were getting into the hours. So from here, what I mean is, by the time we got back from lunch, we'll just say that was 12:30. Right now, I'm definitely questioning it because it's 3 o'clock and it's still there and it hasn't done anything, at least to my knowledge. So I radioed my partner, who is no longer with us on this plane. He actually passed in 2016, so I can't even get his side of the story to this anymore. But basically, I radioed him and I said, hey, do you see that black dot? Because he would be closer to the black dot than I would be. So he should have been able to see it much more, I would say, better than I could. But he could not see it. And I'm like, it's right there. Like, like it's a black dot. You can't miss it in the blue, clear blue skies. And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep an eye on it. And if we get a chance, I'm going to try to show you where it is, if it's still there. By like 5 or 6 o'clock, whenever it was, when we finally wrapped it up, it was still there. So I was, getting ready, tearing down the stuff to, get ready for end of the day stuff for traffic control. And when me and him right off the bat got together, as soon as I went to point at the black dot, it took off. It started to move away, almost like it was just like, oh, and but it didn't like vanish or fade. It just casually was like moving away, and I'm just like, what the hell? So then I started to think a little bit. I was just like, well, maybe it was military because or whatever. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, it never went away either. And then I was just like, well, we did leave for lunch. Maybe it could have gone and, I don't know, gotten a new battery pack and came back. But I did not think about this thing for a very long time. So in 2022, I was listening to a podcast where they did a call-in show. This guy had called in from Connecticut, and he was mentioning how he had just taken pictures because he had just seen this black dot that was stationary in the air. The only difference between mine and his was his actually faded away. His didn't move away like mine did. His just flat out just vanished. So that's what made me rethink about this black dot again. And I was just like, huh. So I did some research again. And according to what I could find in that time frame of, let's just say 2005 to 2010, a battery for a drone is supposed to last anywhere between 30 to 2.5 hours. Well, that damn thing was there for more than just 2.5 hours then, by the time we got back from lunch. So what was it?
So yours didn't fade out or go away quickly. So even though it started to move away when you pointed at it, did any other human being get to see that, but you?
My partner saw it at that one point, but did anybody else? I have no idea.
Okay, so one
Nobody
other
really
person.
mentioned. Yeah.
What about the guy that called in from Connecticut? Did he say he was the only one to see it?
Well, his was his was in Connecticut. Mine was in Vermont.
Right, but when he saw his, did anyone else besides him see that, or was he? You may not even remember that detail, but I was just wondering.
I don't think so. He kind of vaguely on the podcast kind of said like he kind of took out his phone to snap a couple pictures, and then it like vanished quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever
maybe
stated.
he didn't. He may not have even brought it up to anybody else except for calling into that podcast or telling somebody later. Which then, of course, it's too late. But it does make you wonder because we've heard so many times that these UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to label them, whether it's a craft or some kind of an orb, they seem to notice when you notice them. And then they go, like you said, oh, bleep, I'm out of here. And so
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so did I just happen to find the right moment in time to kind of basically start pointing, and it was just like already I knew it was there or something? I mean, I don't know.
Which would be weird after that many hours of it being up there. That's strange.
Exactly.
That would be crazy timing, right?
Then that's why I thought originally maybe it went to go get batteries, because I was even thinking like by the time we got back, 2.5 hours from there would be 3 o'clock from 12:30, and that thing was still there. And that's when I really started to question it, because you would think by the 2.5 hour mark, if it was a battery situation, it would have returned right away. But again, I'm not really sure military wise. I mean, I didn't see any sort of presence for military there or around us. So it's not like I could definitely say it was military when there wasn't any sort of presence there.
How high up do you think it was?
Oh, man.
I mean, like airplane cruising altitude or lower or higher than that?
Like, like it was almost, it was almost like where a drone should be, but also like it was high enough and sort of small enough in a weird way to say that, maybe because of the distance between me and it, that if I really was not scanning that sky that day, especially with the fact being it clear blue and noticing something out of the ordinary like that, I mean, it was definitely like not, I don't think it meant, if it was a UAP, I don't think it meant to have been seen. I think it was trying to maybe cloak itself in a way. And what I mean by that is like maybe, make it feel like it's so small that you wouldn't be able to detect it. Or maybe they were barely new to this their new craft per se, and like forgot to go cloak or something. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine and anybody else's. That's for sure. That's a weird one though. That's the black dot hanging out there for hours. But I bet it was cool to hear somebody else had seen the exact same thing. So, okay, so 2011 now. We're going to start with abandoned church dread.
So going back to where that band photo was taken, this is the first time ever out of 6 times that I originally had been there where I almost felt like I was going to throw up. And it was around October of 2011. Me and my friend were just off doing a joyride basically. And we basically were just going to random places and just having fun because of it being close to Halloween per se. And we wanted to go back to the church again, just because, like I was mentioning with the band photo, creepy place, great for photos. And anyway, we tried to get out of the car after parking to the side of the church because there's like a little entryway you can kind of go in to park. That way you're just off the road. That way you're not have to worry about somebody coming around the bend too quick or whatever to smack you. But yeah, so from here we got out, and as soon as I took a few steps, it almost felt like I got punched in the gut or something. Like I was ready to just, you know, vomit. Basically, it was weird. So I had to stop moving. My other friend took a few more steps than us, and he stopped because he thought he could hear a growl, while my other friend thought he could hear what sounded like chains dragging across like either the floor or the wall of this church, which basically just made us all just go, let's get the out of here. So we just turned around, got back into the car, and left. And of course, just like clockwork, as soon as we left, it was like we all started to get better. I didn't have that like feel of sickness or dread or any sort of anything. It was just one of those bizarre moments where people today would call the zone of fear.
That was probably a good idea. You got out of there, right? Especially the classic like
So.
chains dragging and growling. You're like, no, thank you very much. Okay, next bullet point is possible photo capture.
Yep. Before that one, I actually have a picture for that one, Shannon.
Which one
It's
do we
called,
need here?
That one is the Paul signed the guest book for the Yeti's house. I don't know, Shannon, how well you even know Vermont, but have you heard of the Yeti brothers?
Well, real quick, Paul, before we go there, where do I need to go here?
Right next to
Oh,
the
I see
band
it.
photo.
There we go. Okay. Go right ahead.
So basically, if anybody knows who the Yeti brothers is in Vermont, they're like the very well known for the spiritual side of things, basically. So the Yeti house, or as in today, it's known as the High Lodge Ski Lodge thing, or High Life Ski Lodge. And anyway, this would have been the second stop. Now, this is basically the only picture that we and all of us really took just to kind of show proof that we did, in fact, sign the guest log in 2011 there. And it was just all because, again, Halloween, we knew the little story behind it, whose house it was and stuff. And the nice couple from New Jersey, I think it was, were kind enough to let us in and show us the way out of the place and stuff, which they tried to offer us like some food and wine and stuff, but we were all good on that. But yeah, so that was our second stop. And then this is where the fun really begins. So from here, Shannon, we're going to go to Bard Cemetery, or Baird. I've heard it pronounced two different ways. So we'll start at this this very first photo here. We'll go down the list. So anyway, as we arrived there, because this cemetery is maybe a good 50 yards down the road from the High Life Ski Lodge. Once again, that's why we kind of went there, because it was just a nice little perfect little stop for a minute. So with this picture, you can kind of say there's bugs or some sort of atmospheric thing. Now, this is interesting. This is March of 2000 this is October. I'm not at March yet. Sorry. So this is October still of 2011. So as you can see, the atmosphere is pretty much like what you would want it to be for a creepy October night and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, we just start taking pictures. So here's one. Look like maybe bugs in here. I wouldn't really say orb, because there's a lot of things you can kind of say it is dust particles or some sort of dry humidity type crap. So we can go to the next one. I don't even know what you want to call this. but that is something we had captured. I don't know what is going on in this thing. I just thought it's been very unique. Um, for the longest time, I always thought it was some sort of particles in the air, maybe of the dryness or something, but I don't know, because as we kind of get going more, it was like I was having this weird time here where it was like I could almost feel something. And I didn't really take anything notice of it. So we'll go to the next photo.
Just real quick, Paul, I just want to point something out because this is what our brains do. And they go
Oh, I
for
know.
pareidolia. Can you see my cursor, the way I'm moving my cursor?
Yep.
I see an eye, a nose, a mouth. There's the face. Like that's what your brain just tends to do.
Yep.
So I just
I mean,
wanted to point that out real quick. Not that I'm saying that's
Yeah.
what that is. That's just what our brains do.
Well, look below all that though, Shannon.
Right here.
You see that? To your right more. Like that weird shape in there.
Looks like a profile. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
There. Yeah, I see another
weird.
one over here. It's like, but I will say, and going off of the faces for a second, just this, all of this in general it is very strange because it looks like here it looks like smoke, but then here it maybe looks like some kind of moisture in the air, droplets or something. But if that's the case, I don't know, like, does it get foggy and misty there? Like, well, this was October. I don't know. Yeah, that is that's interesting at the very least, right? So I don't know. Maybe some people can, comment what they think that this is. And just to be clear, I was the one that brought up the faces. Paul's not saying, look at all the faces in here, and neither am I. I'm just saying look how interesting when you see something like this, pareidolia kicks in and you go, there's a face, there's a face, there's a face.
I had to simmer down on that a little bit because I feel like every time I take a weird ass picture, there's always a face, right? So,
Right. And anybody can, do that with a lot of different photos, especially when you have these different textures and patterns. They just tend to do such a thing. Like the second you said, oh, look at the right side. I'm like, yep. Oh yeah, I see that face. I knew exactly what you were getting at quite quickly. So, all right. So you want to go to the next one, Paul?
Yep.
All right.
So look at by the tree. Like what
Yeah.
is going on there? Like, and you just said fog, which is funny because that almost looks like what it is, isn't it? Like some sort of foggy whatever.
Yeah, and then it's like coming off the top like little wispies.
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
That's kind of
now. Yeah, and I took note of this tree for 2012. So I just want to make another note of that. But yeah, so basically this is just another weird capture. And again, it's just one of those times where it's just, we're right around the veil being thin. So what is going on in this place at this time was just fantastical anyway. So, and just to clarify too, Shannon, like, and you have not seen these pictures yet, right? I just want to even point that out, right?
Right.
So what you're seeing is
yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's go hit the next slide then.
Real quick. So between this one and this one, how far apart did you have to walk to get from that last one to this particular bush, tree, whatever it is?
Probably about 20 steps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, who's, of course, then you go, well, is it the land that's creating, if it is in fact paranormal activity, is it the land? Is it these folks that are buried there? What is it? What could it be? All right, next one.
Now you see that it's no longer there.
Oh yeah, same tree. And now, but you have the quote unquote orbs.
You have that. Or bugged or whatever.
Exactly. And I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Yeah, whatever it is. Now you have that. Yep. And no wispies off the trees and no mass in front of this tree. That's cool.
All right. Before I go on anymore, Shannon, since it is your first time seeing it, can you would you like to describe how you would like to take in this photo before
Yeah. So a lot of darkness. There are again orbs / bugs or droplets in the very top. The very bottom left is part of someone's arm, and then it looks, now this one looks very much like smoke. The very
That's
bottom
because
left
it
is
is.
like a smoky. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for that immediate debunk. I appreciate that because that's what you were looking for. Thank you, Paul. So this is actually smoke. Someone is smoking in this.
Me. Yep,
Okay.
that's
But
me.
now we have the bottom right hand. And let me just say real quick, which I haven't, if you guys want to, I know we are discussing photos and that my podcast is listened to heavily audio only, but if you want to see these, go to my YouTube because then you can watch us describing it, quote unquote, live as it's happening instead of wondering, is this the photo they were talking about? Anyway, bottom right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Bottom right, it looks like some kind of a weird, funky butterfly shaped thing. And this, though, looks more like the droplets / smoky stuff in especially that very first larger photo, which I couldn't quite. And you can see the difference of the smoke. And the smoke reflects the light a lot differently than this does.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm noticing. That the light reflection is completely different. That's okay. So were you guys feeling anything while this was going on? Would you even remember?
Oh yeah, that was me. That was all me. So I was smoking at the time before I quit. About a year later, in whatever month it was. From here, you could say. But anyway, yeah. So we were getting ready to wrap things up, and we took a break. We were taking a cigarette break for a minute because we were trying to figure out where we wanted to go, if we wanted to go anywhere else. So anyway, I told my friend when I was smoking, I said, "Hey, take a picture of me. I feel like I'm sensing something," I said. And he took a picture of me and he's like, "There's nothing in there." And I'm just like, "Okay, that's weird." So I took another drag, and as I exhaled, I said, "Take a picture to uh my left, his right." So what you're seeing is my left shoulder arm with my exhaled cigarette drag smoke, and that what I caught. Now, Shannon, what if we were to say, I don't know, we noticed that, freaked out a little bit. Well, my friend kind of did. And instead of taking another picture to maybe see what we would have happened in the next frame, we just got into our car and started going down the road. Meanwhile, my friend Dan and Corey are both flipping out because of what that is, or possibly is, or whatever. And we're just like, what the hell is this? They're like, oh my God, this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, I'm the one driving. So I finally found a place to pull off. And I'm like, let me see what you captured, or like what you guys are like, bragging on about. And as soon as I thought, I was like, what the? I'm like, was this what I feel? Like, was this what I was sensing near me? I'm like, that's amazing. And then I was thinking, too bad we didn't get another shot. So, anyways, Shannon, what if we now get at home and I had the bright idea to, I don't know, zoom and crop the image? So let's go to the next little thing. So what if we flip it? Now what do you see?
Well, honestly, it looks something nearly religious to me in a way that someone has kind of this hood on and maybe kind of a facial shape right here.
Yep. Do you see anything else?
Well, that's freaky, but it looks like bone structure right down there, but that's weird to say, isn't it?
How about that hand that almost looks like it's trying to raise up, almost like the wave at us? You see it now? Right where your cursor is, too. You see it?
This right here?
Yeah.
That is strange. Oh yeah, who would have thought? Oh, good idea to flip that though, because I mean that part stood out to me quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That part
Now,
looks strange too.
if we do one more click with to say, there you go.
Oh, hand,
Ah,
face, hair. Yeah, I definitely got that because it's just coming straight off of where I pictured the face in a gown. What do you think?
yeah,
What do you think these structure? Look at those. Like that's see how it's just it's very straight. It's
I
so super straight, and so is that for just random whatever the hell this is, floating around
yep,
in a cemetery, right? That's
yep,
kind
yep,
of different. That's a lot of
yep.
structure to it, which is weird.
A lot of details, a lot of details. That again, I wouldn't even know what to even have even had, put there. I mean, as much as I would have done, probably an arrow there, but I don't want to just say question mark, question mark, question mark. But yeah,
Let
I
me go back now.
yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, there's the face part, and
yeah,
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 it's doing the backstroke. That's what it's doing.
yeah. It's pretty much basically you could say it's like a ghost or something that's basically saying, "Hey, look what I can do." I'm just floating to like
Well,
the opposite side of you standing up, basically.
well, what's cool about it is that you said, "I feel something. Take a picture."
Yep.
Your shine came through, and you said, "Take the photo." Now this was digital camera, right? So like you take the picture, you can instantly look at what you've taken.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
that is different. And it looks a whole lot different than this, which
That
we
one.
know is smoke. So it's not looking like smoke. Don't know.
Yeah. So that's one of my all-time like really favorite captures. Now, that is technically the final image obviously from 2011. So the next few pictures that we're about to see now is March of 2012 when us three, the same three people that went that night when that was captured, we wanted to go back. We wanted to start our own group now because we're just fascinated by this. So we're just like, wanting to try to make contact. We'd try to just see if this was some sort of religious lady or something. So yeah, so here's the first picture again. So this is March of 2012. So what is that? Like 5 months later. And once again, what a different for time frame that I could say right about now, where as of this recording, I have snow on the ground, and this is March of 2012, and there's absolutely no snow, and it was so warm that I didn't need a coat or anything. So again, what's going on in this picture? This is by the way, this is basically us just arriving. So this is like the entryway of the cemetery, you could just say, just to kind of give you an idea. Because the question of you asking about that weird mist the first time, this is almost like that same area where that weird mist area kind of was in a way.
Okay.
Yeah. So for everybody on audio, just basically think of like a black and white photo with tons of like bug, dust, particle, weather, crap that it could very well be just in the picture, I guess. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah. Still in the same cemetery, everybody. It's still cemetery photos.
Yep, just a little different of a 5 month difference really. So yeah.
All right. So
Now
just
this is
describe this next one for us.
Now this is just freaking weird. Okay, like I don't even know how to even explain it besides that first picture, but now double time the amount of particles that we see in this. And we have some that are like yellow, really bright white, and there's even like this weird one down at the bottom that almost looks like it's a bug completely, or is it something
Oh,
else?
oh, it's a fairy, of course, Paul. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, it could very well be. Look at the way it's shaped.
A little Luna moth, maybe, because those get when those get under a flash, they sure as heck fire look like legs and a head. But hey, who knows? It could be a fairy. Look at that. That's
It
cool.
very well could.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's probably one of the brighter ones, even from the picture, because of the fact it was probably so close.
My gosh, my
But-
eyes didn't even go there at first. I was all looking at all this stuff up here until you said, "Oh, at the bottom left." I'm like, "Oh, okay, look at that."
Well, if you almost look at it, there's like a weird pattern going on between that weird thing, the left side. It's almost like it's forming a freaking triangle.
A triangle,
or something.
yeah. That one's really bright yellow right there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? I wonder if that's a light in the distance.
It would not.
Oh, that's weird. You know, there's so many, and they're so kind of, I don't know how else to explain it. They're kind of layered, in different brightnesses. It almost looks like the lens is just been
Dusty?
like somebody dusty, or they took their hands that were wet and just, you know what I mean? It's just dry water droplets. That's how many are on here, and you have this long, whatever. Right?
Yeah. Like a streak. Like a streak of something.
Yeah. And then the fairy.
And then the fairy.
And then the fae comes into play. But we don't want to play with them because they're not all positive and huggy loves.
Not in the East Coast side, no.
No. Is this a gravestone, I'm assuming here?
Yeah. Yeah. So now, Shannon, now make a kind of like a little weird mental note of how this picture is, okay? And for everybody out that's watching, same thing. Try to make a mental note of especially that yellow dot.
Okay.
Where that yellow dot. That will feel like I feel like it comes into play for some weird reason. So anyway, if we go to the next frame now, this is where I have now tried to offer myself to contact with whoever we had made contact with last time, because I could feel or sense whatever it was, which is why we got that shot from 2011. Now, anyway, beforehand, while we were walking around and stuff, we went to that tree, by the way, Shannon, that other one. Because like I said, we took note of that. Now, at the time, where you can kind of see in this picture, I'm wearing like headphones because I have it connected to a recorder that for EVPs and stuff. But what I was trying to do is I was trying to see if I could maybe hear anything come through while we were there. There was one point where by that tree, I felt like almost what you would call a hot spot, which actually the tree is right behind me. That's that tree. So you can kind of see how much of distance away we are. But we were trying to figure out where we were prior to that picture taken in 2011. But there was like a hot spot by that tree and all of a sudden gone. It was like it was very warm and then it was gone. It went back to normal weather. So I was just like, that was weird. And as I was listening with me and my friend who had the camera, I of course had a camera thing and the sound recorder and stuff. And at one point, it was very faint that came through, and I don't really have any great recall of where that EVP is or whatever. But I do remember in real time hearing, "What is that?" And so in the video that I have, I think it's on my YouTube channel thing, but I even said something like, "What is that?" Like, not like trying to repeat like what was said, but it was like, like when you hear it, it's like, what was that? Like what is that? Like, like you're trying to make out what was said, and then it's kind of hilarious how that is. But we think that whoever this was, if it was the same person anyway, that they basically we're trying to figure out what we were holding for device wise. So this picture is supposed to represent the first time, the other time when my buddy took a photo of me. So this is supposed to be the direct on view of me. And so from here, as you can see, nothing is in here. As we go to the next slide, I kind of said, well, keep me in the frame, but, turn it more to my left, his right, which as we can kind of see, we try to make it bigger now, expand it more to kind of say like, maybe it needs more frame, but that's the only thing that's near me at the time, near my forehead. That glowing dot, which could very well have been a bug or something. It was weird enough as it is. But before we left, I did try to say, if you remember me, come be in the picture with me again. And as you can see, would have had to, no luck. So we got to the point where we were at the entryway again, and we're just like, okay, this is your last chance. If you want us to see you in a picture, this is your final chance. So be my guest, Shannon. Now, I will flat out say, I know that this picture might look like something that I could have easily have put into like the paint program and like doodled all this weird whatever you want to call this artwork thing like in paint, but this is the actual photo we had captured.
No, okay. So this is because I can see the grass at the bottom here. I can see the grass, and okay, this is freaking my mind out because what I see is this looks like a hand, and these look like finger bones, and it's like holding a device or something. It looks like something holding a cell phone, and it's looking at it. This looks like eye sockets or something. I don't know. That's where my weird brain is going. But then you have. This is
obvious. What if it's wings?
Yeah, I don't know. That's because then you have this very bright. I'm assuming is a light. That's the car.
That's the car. If you zoom in a little bit, you can kind of see the wheels a little bit. Yeah. I can see the wheels and like the license plate, but that's just because I know what's there.
Yeah, because you could see it's reflecting here.
Yes.
What? So that might just be another one of these like weird orb/bugs.
Yep.
What in the monkey is this?
Yeah. So again, going back to the hood figure of the first time around in 2011, that could be a symbol of a hood. Wings, maybe something holding, I don't know, but then here's a hand, a bony hand.
Yeah, okay, so I wasn't crazy with that. Yeah, it looks like a bony hand. I mean, I don't know what all that is, but
yeah, yeah, yep.
What in the world is that? I can't, and it's hard, and for folks listening, it's hard to even describe this one, to be honest with you, right? Like this one's tough to describe, but you can still see that underneath this, it's taking up most of the picture. Besides the black of the sky, is that you can see the grass of the cemetery still underneath. And I'm still trying to make out the wheel, but it's probably because I have the lights in my face, and it's just a little bit hard for me to see that of the vehicle. So I definitely believe you on that because I appreciate you debunking, because you've been like, oh, I don't know what that red light is. No, that's the car. So I appreciate that. But yeah, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
It really does. It looks like homie is holding a phone. I don't know. Doesn't it?
I mean, for all maybe it's a size for all I know. I mean, I really don't know.
Yeah, the second I said it, I was like, yeah, but I'm filling this in my mind, and I need to stop doing that because this is just a big
something.
There's nothing underneath here.
No.
My brain is trying to make that connect, but that doesn't mean that it does. So
But what's
if it's
what's I
holding that,
find yeah, but what I find interesting is that other part there on to the right where it looks
mm-hmm.
like another bony hand. And if we were to go back to the 2011 picture and compare it from side to side, if you look at the hand that was in the 2011 picture, it was like coming up, like almost like in a weird, creepy, like And then if you look at that, which that to me would be the right hand this time, and it's almost like doing the opposite. It was almost like it was trying to manifest its hand in there to kind of be like, I'm right here.
Yeah, that's a weird one, Paul.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
so that was the last one for the March of 2012. Yeah.
like this shape here, right here. That's weird.
Yeah, right there.
All these
Hmm.
swirls and but then it very much looks like phalange bones and finger bones and fingers over holding something. I don't know.
It could very well be its body, and then what we're kind of seeing is like a like wings or something, or some sort of weird. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's a
uh,
weird one.
hmm.
Yeah,
uh,
drop thoughts, everybody, on what you think. Because that's different.
yeah, and this was the fact that this was the last image that we had captured, like before we just left.
Yeah, and
It
you
was
said
just
like, here's
like,
your last
wow,
chance. We're going, and then you get this. So,
yeah.
mm-hmm. Hmm.
So I almost wonder because of how long we were there, which was about roughly over an hour, and they didn't want to appear until that last photo. Makes me wonder if they were drawing energy from the camera or something just for that final shot.
Man, that was a weird one. It kind of gives you the creeps, though. Um, because, and I'll say it again. I appreciate the fact that you weren't like, look at all of the ghosts. Just saying that each orb was a human spirit or a elemental or whatever the hell. You're saying no. It could be bugs. It could be dust. It could be this or that. And when it was smoke, you said it was smoke. So I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I've been submitted some interesting photos, but it's hard when you are not there to
Mm-hmm.
really say, yeah, I believe you that this is weird, but not physically being there is probably what makes any submitted photo hard. Like there was a picture from this person that was sent to me from Emily Bridge, and I mean, it's cool, but as long as I've been doing this now, it's like it could be a camera malfunction. It could have been
Yeah.
some weird flash. It could have been a bug. I mean, it was just the way it was. I mean, maybe it is something. Maybe it was, in fact, indeed something paranormal, but I wasn't there that night to help back her up. All I can take is their word.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And that goes for everything. But I appreciate you being honest about what you did know from the photos. All right. So 2012, it says another possible photo plus EVP. Is that what we've already covered then?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So now we go to Emily's Bridge. Click in here.
Yeah. So Emily's Bridge. So I don't know how much anybody knows about Vermont at all, but we have this crybaby bridge, just like every state does. We only have one. I know some states have multiple. Um, so on July 3rd, 2012, we went here. This was a full moon night. And as we arrived, because we went the back way in, we didn't go through like the main road. But as we got there, it was like seeing the bridge at nighttime just makes a whole lot of nope. And especially like it felt bigger at that time frame than going to see it now for some weird reason. I don't know why. Maybe just because of the fact that it was just spooky that night. I don't know. But yeah, so this picture that we are seeing here is one of the very first that we took that you know, just kind of says it all already of what we are in for the night. So, as we are greeted here, there it's interesting because we are told that some people see almost like this lady in white or something that's like to the right hand side of the bridge when you get there. And what is in there photo looks to me like, there's looks like somebody's trying to manifest or something in right there.
Oh, I did not even notice that until you said something. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of looks like something in the middle. Are you talking? Okay, so just
It's like
since I haven't seen.
things.
Okay, so I'm not wrong there. So you are kind of there is this, but then there's also. But is that the same
Yes.
thing? Is it two different things? What's this? Is this the moonlight through? Maybe is the roof not intact or something?
That's the other side of the street.
Okay.
So, like, if you were to go through there, that would take you pretty much right to the main road. So, like, the moon is right above that bridge on the opposite side. So, that I'm assuming would be, like you said, is the moonlight.
My brain is putting a face right here.
Because there is. There's a face forming right there. But
it looks like a face. It doesn't look like a happy face, maybe.
and it looks like, it looks like
So
there
is
is something
that.
out there. Yeah, exactly.
This one's
What is
going,
that?
oh. This one going, oh. See what my brain is like just misfiring right now. That's what happens when you look at these. Wow, that's cool though.
Yeah,
That is
so
cool.
so what if we took another photo of the same place and then zoomed in on that figure again? You can almost see a more detailed face in a way.
Oh, I see. Eye, nose, mouth. Am I in the right spot?
Sort of. At least from what I can see. But yeah, it's almost like,
Oh,
again.
see, now the face changed again. Now I see it up here.
Yep.
I
Yep.
actually see multiple. If I'm being honest, my pareidolia now is misfiring to where I see multiple faces. Eye, nose, mouth. I see one down here. Eye, nose, mouth. It's, oh God, there's another one. Eye, nose, mouth. So what in the actual, and also, I don't know if my eyeballs are just tripping out because I'm zoomed in on the kind of a pixelated photo, but I'm seeing like, it almost looks like scribbles. Scribble.
Yeah, exactly.
Scribble.
It's almost like whatever was going on was just making it. It was almost like it was manifesting, or maybe the environment was making it charged or something, and that's how we were seeing it.
That is cool when you zoom in. That is really cool. Did you play with any filters on this? Is this also like brightened or if you put a filter, sometimes things will pop, anything like that?
No, this is what are we just making it maybe try to be a little bit brighter and a little darker just to try to keep that face that I was seeing.
Yeah.
But just because, it's like, because, when we got there and took the picture, it was almost like one of the pictures was showing the lady like trying to point behind us, which is the way we just literally came back. Or just came in from, basically trying to say like, just go back the way we came from, like trying to tell us like, don't be here, just turn around and get back in your car and leave. So, yeah, because like I would just made the comment, we weren't ready for what we were about to witness. I think that night, or have happened is what I maybe should say for lack of wording.
Yeah, whoops, I went too far. The squiggles are definitely weird on that bottom portion of whatever that is.
Yep. Yeah, so this is another picture that we took right out of the get-go of getting there. So again, that's my shadow, that's my tripod shadow, and then who is that?
Oh. Oh, what the? This until you said something. I was like, oh, I did not see this homie right here.
Yeah. So Shannon, what if we, do what we did with that last photo?
Let's do
Zoomed
that.
in?
Let's go. Zoom. Oh. Hmm. Gosh, I can see like a hairline in this one.
Oh yeah.
What the hell, Paul?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can see eyes. You can almost see what.
Look at the
what
eye. Okay, I'm sorry. That I just saw like the eye. Oh, okay, now my brain is really having a conniption because the eyeball right here under my cursor. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
That one got me. You got me. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And if you look really closely, there's his nose, there's the other, what should be the other eye, and there's his mouth, and teeth. You can kind of make out teeth.
Oh, for the love of Pete. What? Oh, no. Oh. I'm going to see this face in my dreams later.
Anyway, so going back to that first photo where you were thinking about there's multiple things, here you go.
Oh.
Now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, whoever this is, I feel like does not get talked about at this place. It's only just about Emily. And I feel like whoever this is needs to get talked about, because I think this is the one that's doing the damage there, not the female. And
so what are the reports? I mean, are people getting chased off of the bridge, screaming, crying? Of course, it's Crybaby Bridge, but what kind of interactions are going on?
Only males are getting scratched. Cars are not turning back on if you go on the bridge and shut off your vehicle. If you honk 3 times, you're supposed to summon Emily's spirit there. You're supposed to see this weird mist fog wrap around your car. There's a lot of weird ass shit going on here. Which we can definitely get into, like, as the pictures come through. But, yeah.
It's something else weird right there, but that could hey, it could all just be our brains just picking this out. I mean, but that is a wild capture, to be honest with you. And I'm usually not too excited by photographs, but that is really weird, Paul. I don't know. Ugh, look at that.
Like
eyeball.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so profound too.
You see that she's holding a baby. You see the baby right here. She's holding. Obviously, we already figured this out, Paul. This is what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's totally what it is.
Oh.
But what I find interesting is, like, you got to think, if this guy's standing on the bridge, you definitely know he's kind of doing that like weird like look at us, like over the shoulder kind of thing, or like the side glance view at us. So
yeah, whatever the color filter pop that you put in on this zoom in definitely helps to then bring that out. I mean, you can see the whites.
I tried to do my best. Yeah. I think what gets me every time is the eye and the teeth.
Well, the mouth, it goes all the way across. The teeth, the mouth, it goes all the way. Yeah. Or unless it's all the way over here and I just can't, but my brain is like stopping right about there.
I feel like it's going like this way. Like it's almost like a reversible Joker face. Like instead of a smiley face, it's like
a grimace. Like it doesn't look happy. I'll tell you that.
I don't think it was either.
It doesn't look like, hey, I like that you're here. Come on in, guys. Or maybe it did want you to come in, but not for positive reasons, you know?
Oh, it totally was not positive that night.
Gosh, dang, I wasn't expecting that.
A lot of people don't expect that. Yeah. So basically we did try to do like the theory, because as we get there, it's like, well, we want to test everything. So with even the next picture, what we tried to capture is us breathing with our breath,
Mm.
because this is like a 61-degree night. Yes, there's water underneath us. Yes, that the temperature kind of dropped a little bit, but not enough to see your damn breath.
Yeah,
And then I
that's
know
good
it's
that you
very
guys tried
hard.
that.
Yeah, we tried. Yeah, we totally tried. But uh, Kelly and I basically could see our breath. And even while we were recording the video, we were like stopping mid sentence, like, 'cause we were trying to do something, the EVP or something. And it was just like, wait a minute, I can see my breath. And Kelly was just like, it just got cold. And then eventually in the video, Dan pulled out his weather app and showed it at like 61 degrees. And we're just like, why are we seeing our breath at 61 degrees?
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Yeah. So from here, it gets interesting. So this is very hard to see it, but you can kind of see it. Like this is her leg. This is Kelly's leg. You can kind of see like not very deep marks, but you can see like there's something trying to form.
Yeah, you can see 3 scratches when we
Yep.
all have heard what that means.
Yep. And so her leg was burning at this point in time. And everything else. And so anyway, we tried even the parking your car on the bridge, shutting it off, seeing if we can start up the car again. Well, let's just say it didn't like that either, because when we got out of the car with the next image, Shannon, that was on the hood. Just one single scratch that was not there prior. And we know that because of it was Dan's vehicle. So that's why we didn't have like a before picture, because he knew his vehicle, obviously.
Yeah.
But that is the only mark that showed up after doing that. Why did that one little mark just show up after doing that?
Poor guy's going out and getting his property damaged at the old Emily's bridge. He's like, what the hell, guys?
And then if we go, so that is my back after visiting Emily's bridge. I didn't feel anything until after I had gotten home.
And then it started to burn, or you just noticed it was sore?
It wasn't burning, like it wasn't like a very bad burning sensation, but it was enough to say like there's something on my back, like almost like it's like a cat scratched your back kind of thing.
Yeah.
And why it only took that long to feel it, because it's not like a short drive from where I live to get to this place. This is like an hour and 30-minute drive or so. So it's not fun. So basically we think we actually may have a picture of the moment right before I was scratched, which would be the next picture. If you look right behind me.
Oh, hey, look, it's the pixelated smoky, not smoky something.
Yeah.
What the? That looks like. Oh.
And what's weird is that the only thing in focus.
Yeah, it really kind of is. We're definitely a strange shape.
Yeah. Yeah. There's and that would explain the moment right before I got scratched. Now, this is the first place too where like my attitude started to change. And that was probably just because I was kind of getting sick and tired that Kelly was the one getting picked on, per se, when I heard like it's supposed to be females and not doing like a whole reversed in the row thing. So I was trying to back up Kelly by saying like, hey, why are we picking on Kelly? I'm like, I thought you were mad at males because of the stories that I hear about this place. Aren't you supposed to be scratching males? I'm like, if that's the case, then you can scratch me and blah blah blah. And yeah, so here's an image, and then that's my back. Um, a lot of people say that I faked my back, but if you watch the videos and even like some of the other pictures I have that are not really like cool, but they just help. But even with this one, you could see what we were doing. We are nowhere near the walls of the bridge. So the bridge itself could not be the cause of why my back ended up looking like that.
Yeah, that is strange. It looks like it's got something that goes all the way down here.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a xenomorph head. That's cool. I know you see that too. You're like, that's not what it is,
totally.
but that's what my brain tells me because I love xenomorphs. But it's got some kind of substance to it, and then you got the wispies. I don't know.
The weird head shape or something. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we think that might be the image right before I was scratched, which would make sense.
Well, especially if you're provoking it and you're saying, hey, what are you picking on her for? Let's go, buddy.
Well, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's what us investigators kind of do. Like, as much as I hate provoking now, but if you're trying to collect the evidence of said place of something that's supposed to be going on, and especially for males, you kind of want to do your best to document that to see if it's true.
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't knocking it at all. I was just
no.
saying
I'm saying for the people that
yeah.
that don't like provoking, and it's like, well, sometimes you kind of have to call out the bad spirits. Sometimes,
and I had the privilege of going to Fox Hollow Farm and spending time with the graves, and especially with Robert, and walking the property, and I slept in the basement next to the pool where Herb killed all those young men. And I regret not provoking more and speaking out loud more. I was really hesitant while I was there, and I shouldn't have been. And I don't know if I'll get the chance to go back there. But if I, it's like one of those things you go, if I could have done things differently, I would have done this, this, and this. And
right.
Yeah, I didn't do that. So, and especially in your case though, for this particular Emily's Bridge, if it's scratching a friend of yours, especially a female, you're going to go, hey, that's not cool. Do it to me instead.
Yep.
So,
yeah. And again, so going back to like even my attitude changing, as soon as I was leaving, like, the last thing I remember really before like my whole attitude changed was I basically was like, as we were driving away from Emily Bridge, like something wanted me to just roll down the window and be like F you, Emily, like even though for whatever reason why I said F you, Emily, but it's not like I know whatever that other entity that's there. That's why I'm saying whatever this other entity is, I think it's the one that's doing it all. It's not Emily.
Probably not.
I think it's Emily just trying to basically say like, hey, there's something else here. Go. Don't be here. Like especially with the first image that you showed, and you kind of noticed it right away. Almost looked like there was something right there, standing right there, and then there was something forming right next to her, a little bit taller even.
Yeah. Well, once you start seeing like full eyeballs and everything, I'm like, okay, didn't expect that. That is the stuff of nightmares right there. All right, next we are going to talk about Ralph.
Yes. Oh man. Okay. Ralph. So Ralph is back in Chittenden, a little bit away from Bard Cemetery. This is, I don't know, a couple miles more past that cemetery. Now, Ralph is interested because when we first went up to check out this Horton cemetery out before even investigating, we went up there because we were told that's where the Eddy brothers are buried. So we wanted to go see if we could try to find the Eddy brothers, just so that way we knew where they were, so we could come back and do a proper investigation and etc. And so we did. We went up there, and we started on the west side of the cemetery, and kind of what the idea was at that time frame was we were going to start at the west and kind of work our way down throughout the graves until we made sure we found them. But it didn't really take us long to find them. It was like let's just say section C on the first row, and that's where they were. So very easy to find these Eddy brothers. It wasn't even hard to find. And so basically we took mental note of that, so that way when we got this new device that was coming in, which is the spirit box, we wanted to basically try to do a night where we could maybe just just check to see what would come through the spirit box. So anyway, I finally got the spirit box in the mail, but we only had enough time to just check out the spirit box because everybody had plans, but everybody was still at least down to basically go up there and check it out. So we did. We sent the spirit box. You can't record the audio, so we had to bring a camcorder to at least document the responses we got. So what I did was I had Dan hold the camcorder and I held the spirit box. And this was July 12th, or hang on, July 15th, sorry, July 15th of 2012. And then we got the responses. We had a Ralph come through, and we're just like, okay, whatever. But again, at that time frame, we didn't have any knowledge that a Ralph was buried in the cemetery. We just kind of did the spirit box, kind of did that for a little bit, and then that was it, packed up and left. If we thank the spirits around us for them to come in, if they did come in, if we did in fact understand them, if we couldn't, then we tried to do our best. You know how that goes sometimes. But anyway, the point to this is now we went a week later. So now this is like July 22nd, if I did my math right, of 2012. And this time, I had new people with me because one person wanted to try out for the paranormal group. And I said, yeah, sure. Let's go back because I want to check to see if there's a Ralph buried there anyway. So we ended up getting there, and well, I'll let the very first video, Shannon, of finding Ralph, pretty much just fill in the blank, I think, and then we can talk about it.
All right. Finding Ralph.
Horton Cemetery.
Horton Cemetery. There she is.
You find one?
I found a Ralph.
You found a Ralph?
Maybe you did hear a Ralph.
Take a picture.
Do I not hear?
No,
sound?
I know we heard a Ralph. Take a Ralph.
Yeah,
Take
I can hear it.
Here's an Emma.
I did get a female. I just never got her name.
I
get the
couldn't
lights
catch-
off.
All right.
So in the video,
Nice. I can see it.
on
Did you
my
get
end,
it?
I can't even hear the
Yeah,
audio.
he got it.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's playing over
I was
here.
gonna say, if you want, I can try.
All right, I'll
I
wait.
can get closer.
There's Ralph.
We're not alone.
Who we talk? Ralph. Ralph,
We're not alone.
who we talked to last Sunday.
There is a female.
But yeah,
voice
that's
over there,
basically the
and
video.
I don't think it sounded
Um,
like it was an actual person. It was too
we can
clear.
basically say like I took the clip from the Ralph response from that spirit box section to basically that day of finding Ralph's grave, because again, which was interesting because from where the Eddy brothers were, all we had to do was walk across, and there was Ralph right there. So that's how close they were. And we didn't know that a week prior to that, which is interesting. So yeah, so just in case, I don't know why I didn't hear the audio, but I know in the edit it'll probably be there. But yeah, so basically, they had found Ralph, and I said, "You found a Ralph?" And I was just like, "Wow!" Like, yeah, we possibly made a contact with a Ralph last week, and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, we totally had a Ralph response." And the fact that we could actually find a Ralph grave like a week later just pretty much blew my mind.
Well, and
Because
it's also cool that you didn't already see the Ralph headstone, and then it wasn't already essentially implanted in your mind before hearing it. Like you heard it first,
Exactly.
and then you went looking to see if, oh, is there a Ralph buried here? So that's cool.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites just because I've been back there like a few more times too, but never caught any more audio from Ralph. But I have caught in different like weird other things, like EMF wise, like weird spikes and stuff like that. But they're not here for this chat, unfortunately, just because those are hard to come by. Just because those were filmed on my phone, and like I think it was just one of those random days where I would just got out of work and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go do this, and that's what I did. I don't even think twice. But what I do recall is like when I go back to find it and or to revisit Ralph is what I should say is like I always tried to see if he's still around to give me a sign or whatever, and so even though I don't get audio or it seems like he might be around anymore, it could be just because he just wanted to at least be acknowledged. And then he kind of felt now that it was like that was enough for him.
Yeah.
And like, and I haven't really started saying this yet, but like, so I found out a relative that doesn't live in Vermont, I believe. I think he's like somewhere else, so he's not able to actually get to his family plot anyway. So I asked with permission if I could, like, if I'm in the area, if I could always go and visit your family and have permission to do this, like paranormal stuff, because I want to be respectful as I possibly can. But because of him giving me that permission, I've also been trying to learn how to clean graves. So I actually cleaned all his family's graves. And Ralph is definitely one of them that I made sure was clean, just because of all the time that if it was him or maybe even his wife, I wanted to make sure I paid my respect that way too.
That's cool.
That way his name is always there.
Right.
But yeah. So now we can basically start going into the images, because this is now July 22nd of 2012. And these ones are interesting as always. So this is my buddy was holding the camera because that's why. That's why I wanted him to have the camera, because he was more sensible to this stuff than I was. So he captured this. So what we did was with the first image, which is before this one, so you get that nice little idea. Yeah, this one, you kind of see like the tree, you kind of see like the graves in the back and the flag and stuff like that. So you can kind of see like even this isn't really focus. And then all of a sudden this shows up. And then just for one more, before we take a look at this even further, Shannon, let's do one more. It's gone. So this time we actually took a photo, and this whatever this is, which I called the lady in the mist, because that's what it looked like to me. And then we took 3 different pictures though, but this was 1, 2, 3. So that way, kind of like I said with my 2011 one, I kind of wish we went 1 and 2. So now we can go back to the second one. Yeah, this one. And so Shannon, yeah, if you wouldn't mind, what do you see?
So it is mostly grass falling away from us. A tree takes up most of the left-hand side. You can see gravestones, even little statues, American flags planted in the ground. And then it looks like there's motion to this. It just gives the impression of some kind of a mist coming towards or going away, but that's just my impression of it. But now that I'm looking at it, I kind of see a face. There's the pareidolia kicking in, maybe a face there, but that looks like a face over here. But his head, his brain's falling out of his head. See, that's where my brain goes. But that doesn't mean that's what it is, But yeah, it just gives the impression of motion. Like this is just swirling away or swirling to or coming at someone. Rather. Right. So I don't know. That's where my brain goes as I see a motion to this.
Right. I almost feel like there's it's almost like long hair or maybe some sort of long hood again, or maybe some sort of long gown. It's really hard to really say what is going on, like you said. Mm-hmm. And but the reason why I call it Lady in the Mist is because it felt like at the time, even with my friend who had the camera taking these pictures, he felt like there was a female presence around that was just wanting to come in to these pictures. So
that part is so bright. Look how bright.
I know. That's why I'm like, what is going on here? That's why every time I find these pictures, like when we were taking these or just going back afterwards and trying to make some logical sense of what the hell is going on here. It's just like, I really can't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah. And then what's even makes it more interesting if we go 2 more pictures.
Whoa, look at this one.
So yeah, here's that fog, weird mist stuff that we could say. I mean, it's not like it's like particles like in Bard Cemetery one or Baird Cemetery, but this is more definitely like a mist thing. And it looks like almost like one of the trees is like trying to be like a Blair Witch Project thing going on, and above the statue kind of thing. And oh my God, it's just so weird. And then it's
go ahead. Paul.
I was gonna say real quick, Shannon, and then if we go one more,
and just real quick before we move though, look how thick these are at the bottom. I'm like, what is that all about?
Yeah.
So this is right after, and it's all gone.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to show you.
And then there's one bug or orb or whatever
thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I just wanted to show that's what we started to do though. We started right at the time of seeing this come through the digital camera, we immediately know we need another picture if something else is going to show up or not.
Right.
And this. So I'm sorry. You were saying
that's all right.
The down at the bottom again. What were
you saying about just that these just look quite a bit different than the rest of this. Like they're thicker and more formed, or they're coming. They have more energy than the rest of it. If this is something paranormal, it has more form to it than the rest of it. I suppose you could say, for lack of a better term. Who knows?
Something we're definitely trying to manifest, it seems like.
Yeah, like this little hopper right here next to, is that you here standing? A little bit.
I believe so. I can't remember just one first.
See, I wonder if that's a hat or is that another part of all of this? See that up there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think somebody was wearing a hat. But
Okay, might be a hat then.
it could very well be.
Yeah.
It's really hard to remember everybody that was there.
Yeah.
I know it was me. 1, 2. There's probably 4 or 5 of us that night. Yeah. But our favorite type of photo comes back though, Shannon.
Uh-oh. Should we go to the next one then?
Sure. That is me though in the picture. So this one is me. I know that. Because I'm trying to set something down in this picture.
And this is definitely not anyone blowing smoke.
No, I made sure nobody was smoking at all. I kind of made that a new rule now because I was like, people are going to say this is cigarette smoke. And as long as we can all vouch and say we were not smoking at all, that will help.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
I don't know
weird
what.
wispies here.
Yeah, it looks like a weird V.
McPhee gravestone.
Mm-hmm. It's just, yeah, it's just like to, do you notice how bright it is too, even with the flash? Even with the past picture that we just showed.
Yeah.
Notice how bright they are? That's not really me brightening these up.
Well, and this part's prismatic. There's rainbow, kind of a rainbow added in there. Not added, but you know what I mean. It just looks like it's prismatic.
It just looks like it. Oh yeah, it's just weird. I don't even know what else to say to it.
Ghost dog, there he is. Look at that ghost dog. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
There is a, I think there is a dog or something buried in the cemetery. So
there you go. He came to
it
say
very
hello.
well could be.
Puppy.
Yeah, it could very well be a doggy, actually. As you actually look, it actually does kind of look like a weird face, actually.
It does. That's why I said that. I was like, oh, a puppy.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's cool. I like these. I like trying to just dissect, and we're never going to know. We don't know for sure. Maybe something just weird with the cameras, but it's fun to talk about.
Yeah. Yep. And then again, right back to the beginning of all this is the particles.
Yeah. I always like to zoom in because you never know what the eye's going to settle on and go, what is that? Although I'm sure that you've already done this a million times, but I'd like to do this on new photos for myself. So
well, you
cool.
see those, so you see like that flattened area after that hill.
Mm-hmm.
So those graves right there, right by the American flag, not the one that's on the hill, but the one in the background. That's where Ralphie's family is buried, right around there.
Oh, Ralphie, huh?
Yep.
It's nice that you clean their graves.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's one more particle one.
Ooh. Very rainbowy orbs, dust, whatever, ghosts, fae.
Yeah, it was one of those weird times where it was like it felt humid, but not too humid out.
And then you have
any sense.
Beaker over here.
Pretty much. So, I mean, what it is, what they are, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always
cool.
found those to be interesting, for sure.
That's cool. I like those because you just don't know, but it's fun to talk about. I like that.
Exactly.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing all this, by the way, Paul. I appreciate it very much. And I know that folks do too, because people are always like, well, people come on and they talk about photos or evidence, but they're not comfortable sharing, which no knock on them. That is fine. I don't blame them because people just talk their shisa about anything that you say or share. But yes, thank you so much. Okay, so next up, it says railroad.
Yeah, so there's a, quote, haunted railroad here because of a bad taste of disastrous train wreck that happened on February 5th, 1887, where the Montreal Express train derailed and went into negative 20 degrees freezing water at 2:30 in the morning. And there was tons of wounded. Few got killed, like a father and son, and the crew and stuff. And oh yeah, it wasn't a pleasant morning, that's for sure. So this bridge is known for like the screams, possibly ghost train aspect. I just recently learned about a red light, almost like a lantern, like the conductor is still trying to stop trains from going and derailing, because he probably still thinks that the tracks are still not fixed, even though they are. And it's been, what is it, 139 years now. Yeah, so it's just sad. But we wanted to try going there one night just to try to see what we could do. So what we did was, my friend who was like in the sheriff thing, he kind of looked into what we could and couldn't do, to just because of it being a railroad thing. But we did find a way to try to get near the tracks as best as we could. And what was interesting is, while we were there prior, from the other road side, not by the track, but where like even a historical landmark post is now, which is called like the disastrous train wreck. There's a plaque there now that basically tells you like what happened there. So we went there one night to see if we could maybe hear what people claim is screams of just people are still burning or whatever is still going on, like the train wreck is still alive, almost like that residual haunting effect. People say that the little boy who possibly was crushed from one of the train cars is said to be floating, almost appears to be floating like above the water, even though at the time that place was frozen over, especially negative 20 out. Yeah, so we went there, didn't really have any luck with any sort of photos or camera work or anything. But what was odd, the only odd thing that really happened there was when we kind of went to sit down on the tracks. When we did, it was like, I've been trying to figure out a good way to like word how to describe it, but you know, when trains, even at like railroad crossings and stuff, sometimes they have to stop and almost like back up into the car to get it hit on, etc., etc. So you get that bam, or like that vibration of the tracks because of it connecting with something. That's exactly what we felt. Almost like something did that. And we're all just like, what the? And we just couldn't figure out, because there's no trains. There was no train. There was like no way to say, like, maybe if there was a train down in the distance, how far does a vibration of a train that's backing up into a car, how far did that vibration go? I don't even know the answer to that. But whatever we felt that night was the only weird thing about that railroad.
Yeah, I think that trains coupling would be pretty loud and probably carry, but like you said, how far would it carry if it was still an active train station and track? So yeah, that's a weird one. Tragic story, of course. A lot of this is tied to tragedies, so.
Oh yeah. Vermont Historical Society actually made a very nice like PDF file about that day. They even listed like all the victims' names, all the wounded, all the uninjured people. which I think there was like only a total of 22 people that did not get injured.
Oh, I'm sure.
Which, wow.
I'm sure. A crash like that into water on that kind of temperatures, forget it. Like that's
Yeah, you're done.
You're
Yeah.
lucky. You are lucky to get out alive. Something like that. That's terrible.
Yeah. And so basically that's really all I can say about the railroad. But yeah, that's whatever that was about though at the end, I don't know. And that's the one where it's just one of those things where I'm just curious of how far the vibration go, especially if you don't hear a bang, but you just feel the shakes of like a vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Like that where we were all like, why did that happen?
So up next is Hubbardton. I'm assuming BF is Bigfoot, or maybe not, and Cemetery. Maybe Bigfoot. I don't know.
Battlefield.
Oh, dang it! I was this close, Paul, to Bigfoot.
I haven't had any cryptid stories yet, unfortunately.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I like that attitude. Not yet.
Yeah. So this one, oh my goodness gracious. Oh, I literally just went back to this one just to see how much I actually like recall and what I don't recall. And let's just say this is one of those ones where like we can kind of go with some of the clips and stuff that I have just to kind of help with what I can give you for right now, Shannon. But this is one just like Wilson Castle would probably be separate, like returned on its own just because of all the weird stuff, I guess. Like, yeah. So what I have for you guys today for the chat anyway, I have a mixture between some EMF. I have a possible evidence because it's just weird nonetheless. I've always found it to be interesting. And then, of course, we have some very awesome spirit box responses because I love my spirit box responses. And I'm actually so glad even that when I went back to redo these, that one of the captures, or what I thought was hoping was a capture, I always remember. And the fact that I actually have physical proof now of one of the responses just always just warmed my heart because now all I can think about is I want to go back there because I want to bring this specific item now as like a trigger object and see what happens next. So basically, I guess, Shannon, let's open up the folder and we'll get on cracking with first up. I get the what I have for you with the EMF from the cemetery, which
oh yeah, let me
down
pull
at the
that. Let me
stage.
pull that up.
You don't understand. When Dan and I went over there to get the EVP,
Yeah.
the flashlight was flickering, and he picked it up and turned it on and off, and it wasn't flickering at all.
Whoa!
Yeah, you got something.
I wanted it to see if it'd come on and stay on.
That's pretty cool.
And we definitely know that wasn't the flashlight before that did that because we tested that theory out.
Yeah, it's not the flashlight.
Steered the flap down here.
The knees are
here?
Francis was
Oh.
there. No?
Oh my God! Get back up, back up. Okay, it is you. I think.
it's
Get
not.
closer,
It's
Dan.
still
Get
going.
closer, Dan.
Yeah, get closer, dude.
Done.
No.
No?
car. No.
That thing is going off like crazy.
Get closer with your camera.
Was it the colonel or was it
It's not the camera, dude.
general?
No, it's Colonel Ebenezer's.
Wait a minute, I need to try something.
I'm using a flashlight here.
It's not the battery shaking.
I don't think so. Cause look at that thing go off now. And that's at 4 lights.
Every time I try to take a picture.
We tried that too. It's not probably not. Do it again. Hold the button down. Yeah, see? It's not the camera.
I'm gonna get that. Is someone coming? Light up if something is coming.
Did you just see that?
Oh, and it's going again.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, so we were at the cemetery, which is literally like picture like a battlefield, everybody. And then, if you get to a point where if you kind of go down the hill a little bit, or even if you drive from where you can park for the battlefield, go down the road a little bit, go down this other dirt road, then turn on another dirt road, and then turn right one more time and drive just a little bit up, and then look to your left. You got this very old cemetery, and that is where we are, where the like weird EMF were just going off. And Ebenezer Francis was one of the colonels there, and at the time I was calling him Ebenezer Fraser at time. I think I kind of did that on purpose just to see if I could get a response that way, just for not saying his name right or something. But yeah, at one point though, with the thing, just like, I wonder, if these kids are, or whatever is there, is just like having way too much fun, because it's just so fun. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Let's try it. Oh, I can hear it now.
Charlotte, light up. Light up. Wait, at least let me finish the question. Light up this device if your headstone was vandalized.
So that was it. So yeah, so I find it funny that when Dan was trying to talk about this particular gravestone being vandalized, it was like it was widen up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and finally, he was able to finish the question. So to me, I took that as it was widen up because it already knew what Dan was going to ask.
Could be.
So yeah. Either way, whatever. I mean, we maybe were hopefully able to hear the audio of the first one, where we kind of went through our flashlights, our devices, just to see if the EMF was going off with that, because we wanted to show that if it was our devices, it wasn't doing it now or then or whatever.
Right.
Just to help out that thing. Now, this one is weird with this part. So this one is now up on the hill, basically, as the battle was going on. It was like the uphill charge, I want to say, was pretty much what was going on here. But what happens in this video is, while we were trying to figure out what we were seeing in other areas, because two people were talking about a light being seen, which I wasn't really focused on that in the video. I was trying to watch the EMF stuff, but then at one point I looked away from the screen. But when I went back to watch this, I'll just play the video and we'll we can talk about it hopefully afterwards, as long as the thing cooperates.
You see any lights down there?
No, I'm kind of recording right now, trying to keep my focus on this.
What the hell is that? Try it again.
Are you upset that you died for nothing? Were you happy that you fought for your country?
So did you hear that, Shannon? That bonk?
Yeah, I heard a bonk in there. Yeah.
So something really fast that we came up and smacked the camcorder. But it wasn't a bug, because we would have noticed it was a bug, but it happened so quick that I would, like, whatever it was came and smacked the camera. And what I find weird is my friend Dan and Janine were talking about seeing lights, and then all of a sudden, wham!
Somebody wasn't happy you guys were there. They were like, time to go.
Like.
Bye.
Yeah. And I tried slowing it down too, to see, like, even when I went back to look at it. But at one point, whatever came to smack the camera, it almost looked like there was some sort of weird form going on, but it's so fast you would have to literally slow it down.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we even have that capability here. So
No,
it's just-
StreamYard barely handles what we're doing, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
So-
not going to try that.
Yeah. So anyway, just imagine just weird form that just comes out of nowhere,
Hmm.
and it comes so quick, and then as it smacks, that's when it vanishes.
Yeah.
But that's what that video is supposed to represent, because it was just like these two were seeing light somewhere in the field of something, and then all of a sudden,
Oh,
you know,
you're getting a little
boom.
robotic there, Paul. Hopefully that
See that?
clears up. You notice that
Yeah.
too? Yeah, I think it's better
Yep.
now. Okay. Hang in there, StreamYard. Hang in there.
Yeah. Oh, it's still going. Okay. Let me try removing some stuff. Maybe that might help. Oh, yeah, it looked like it. Whatever. It's StreamYard. Yeah. So from there, though, we literally did like a session with like spirit boxes, and this is like the last I can share for now, because like I said, as I went back to do this, there was way too much stuff going on here. So this one would have to be like a complete own like comeback, basically, when I have everything probably more filtered out and everything. But I can at least share some cool spirit box responses here. And then basically just let the responses, I guess, either speak for itself, or I can maybe just add a little bit of information afterward. And then we can wrap up Hubbardton, I guess. So the first one that I have here is just basically we're just trying to get things going because of some of us having like religious background. I was trying to be respectful and do like a little prayer for them before we even began. But apparently somebody, like most of the time, wanted to say hello ahead of time. If there's any spirits here with us, any good spirits, I want you to come to this device and talk to us. Keep anything. Yeah. So there's the first little weird response where I'm trying to get it through
Yeah.
by saying like any good spirit to come talk to us to, protect us from any negative.
Hmm.
The first thing we get is, who's that?
Like, who's that? Like, there's no good spirits here. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's kind of why we're all like, oh boy, here we go. This is
Who's
gonna
that
either be bad
talking?
or good.
Who's that talking to us?
Yeah. So this next one is continuing off of the first response.
Want to say to me? Come on, I've been razzing you. Just say hi. America won.
I kept in the radio.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, who is this? What's your name? Hi.
Well, said hi back, so that's cool.
Yeah, well, clearly you can tell by the demeanor of the voice, though, he was not immune to
Not
interact,
really. It
I
was a
don't
very
think.
sarcastic hi. Like, just very
Yeah.
matter of fact,
Yeah. It's just like, oh boy, like, what else are we in for tonight?
Yeah.
Just- but it's cool. So I'm trying to remember which one that was the high. So that one, this one. Yeah, here's the next one.
Are you British? Are you American?
So was he British or American? Yes. I don't know. Was he British or American? Who the hell knows at this point? But yes.
Yes.
You know, what a different, I guess, hesitant voice, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how else to really explain that one. So yeah, so this time from where we were kind of near the top of the hillish, and we were at a bench at one point, but it started to not really give us any like good whatever connection. And so we ended up finding the bench that is like down in the middle of the field. So, and I changed camcorder now, just so people know.
Okay.
So this is a different camcorder, but still would in the 20-minute session.
American, German, British, if you smoke, I offer you a cigarette. I think I just heard thank you. Does it work if we keep it on the same channel? I think I just heard thank you though.
But yeah, that's it. That was it. But it's like a thank you. You know?
That's cool.
Like
Siggy's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun little stuff. Here's the next one. I'm trying to remember what I even said on this one. So I guess I'll have to wait and see.
Can you tell us what it was like to die? Are you still trapped here? I like how it's nothing. Something over there. I'm kind of lost. What state are we in?
Shoot me?
Shoot me, huh?
So I'm wondering if that's like a wait response to my friend Brian, who was with us for the whole what is it like to die, and basically the response and a wait reaction would be shoot me. Yeah. I don't know if that's supposed to be sarcastic or if that was just something else going on. So yeah, that was a weird one for sure. And it only gets weirder with these responses. So all right. But yeah, you got to think though, when the 20-minute sessions, you just never know what you're gonna come across. You never know what type of responses you're gonna get. So I mean, there is one video that I don't have, but I still remember it clearly, which I can end on that note when it comes to the Hubbardton battlefield. So yeah. So anyway, yeah.
Would you like a cigarette?
You have two.
I do not have chew.
Does that sound okay?
It sounded like you have two.
I don't know if you heard that, Shannon.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yep. So now that's the one I've always been talking about, where I couldn't remember if it was actually captured on video or not.
I mean, that one's cool because you were talking about cigarettes and then they talk about chew. So that does, there's a continuity there that it goes in line with what's being spoken about, which is always cool.
Yeah. Well, I was also trying to figure out what we had. And of course, since that was still smoking at the time before like a month later when I actually stopped, because this was like really the final month of me smoking before September of 2012 when I really like went toe to toe with that to start quitting. But yeah, I just love that one just because it's just I wanted to also just, like I said, use trigger objects because we started to learn about trigger objects and stuff like that. And of course, cigarettes, it's a war. Of course, soldiers would love a cigarette, or in this case, chew.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always one of my favorites. But again, now that I actually know that I had that, the actual captured piece of evidence, I can not just have to say, yeah, I don't remember if this was captured or not, but I do remember saying like, here's a cigarette, and then the response was got chew.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's the proof now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun. So I got 2 more left for Hubbardton Battlefield, and we can close that one out for now.
Do you have a camp here? Is your base here?
Yeah, so that's a fun one.
Hmm.
So Ben Nook, at the time when I thought this, I thought it was saying Ben Nook, like a person's name. But now actually going back and researching a little bit more. I mean, I did try to research back in the day, but maybe it was on my old computer that no longer really exists with all my old notes and stuff. But like, even in the video, I think it's not trying to say somebody's name. I think it's actually trying to say like Ban Nook, which if you look up Ban Nook, BANNOCK, it's actually an old recipe for like bread that soldiers would have.
That's cool.
Yeah. So when I was asking about if there was a base nearby, most bases would use just Bannock recipe, which is basically bread.
Cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting after going back to it. So yeah, so this is my last video, and now just to set this up on a funny note, my friend Dan here is trying to basically share a joke with us all. So I'll just leave it at that, and I'm just gonna let the video speak for itself.
Can you delete the new? Oh, there, it just popped up. Okay, they look similar.
What is the airspeed velocity of a swallow carrying a 1-pound coconut? An African swallow.
Oh my goodness. Even the ghost is like, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
Yep. Yeah. So that was the last fun one that I have for the spirit box session, but I will at least wrap up on another interesting note for this segment for now. Is for Hubbardton Battlefield is so by the time we left, we had decided that I wanted to stay in the middle of the field and try EVP work. And they wanted to do one last thing up in the top of the hill where the uphill charge was. And I thought, oh, perfect. You'll be far enough away you can't contaminate my audio. So this will work out perfect. So it's one of the final things that I was captured from that night is to me is another powerful response, and it made me want to look into the area more because I knew I read about like Indian, German, British, American, stuff like that, but I also read about like prisoners of war and stuff at that time. And what makes this kind of interesting is for some weird reason I was starting to think about those prisoners of war, and I think it was also just because prior I would pretty much, I don't want to say the word harassing, but I kept trying to see if I could get Ebenezer Francis to like come out because he was the one that was doing all these capturing of prisoners of the war and stuff like that from this area. Well, anyway, the final question of the night that I asked was, "Are you scared?" And of course, with it being EVP, I won't know if I got anything until I get home. When that part came, and in the part where like you could hear the cricket over me a little bit, because that's how loud they were that night. But at one point, it was almost like when the response came in, it was almost like it kind of lowered the cricket vibration, if I can even say that, because the response came in so clear over the cricket, and the cricket felt like even they got toned down a little bit, at least to me, maybe not, but yeah. But the answer was yes. So I'll just say it one more time. The last question that I asked of the night was, "Are you scared?" And the response I got was yes. And it wasn't a male response. It was a female response.
Wow.
Yeah. So, whatever went on that time frame, yeah, definitely whoever reached out to say yes, definitely did not feel safe at all at that
No.
point in time.
Who could blame them?
Yeah.
All right. So next up, 2016 is Tessa photo.
Yeah, and this is one that I believe you have on your end. So
Yes,
this will work
I do.
very good. So basically, just to kind of start off with this is Tessa is my lady, who is now basically the mother of ours, like little lovely daughter. So this is picture one, where for the audio only listeners, basically picture like a beautiful nature scenery. You got this big rock that is in the middle of the creek or little river. I call it a creek per se. But what we're trying to do here is Tessa wanted some photos for her book cover that we were working on for her poetry, because I was trying to get her work out there, because I said, well, I published some books of my own before. I can help you get your work out there too. So we went to this beautiful place in Silver Lake, which is in Brandon, Vermont. Lovely, lovely hike. I want to go back there and stuff like that. And anyway, so this is 3 photos for the story. And that is, I'm trying to get the camera to be a little bit more focused and not look like it's grainy, and just trying to get the settings right. And in this case, you can kind of tell right away with this photo, like it kind of looked kind of grainy for some weird reason and not as focused, and like all the other pictures that came out even after. But in this case, you don't really see anything weird. So we can go on to the next picture. And then just for the fact of talking about taking multiple images, do one more, Shannon. And now we can go back as you would like, and we can talk about this second picture. And for the audio listeners, get ready for this one.
Yeah, it's another orb photo, but this one is just a single orb, and it's not too far away from Tessa herself. And it's pretty large. It's a big one. And okay, so my question to you is, did you change the filter coloring on this one at all?
Nope.
Really?
The only thing I did differently maybe was I looked like I zoomed in a little bit.
Yeah, because it looks like darn near, you know how you take a photo and you kind of make it look more like it's a negative or something?
Yeah.
That's kind of what this, not a fully negative, but that's kind of what it's just more purple, essentially. So
Yeah.
and then the last one's
And
super
then that
green.
one's more darker.
Yeah, that one's just all green.
Yeah. No, it was just a weird setting of the environment, I guess I'm gonna say. So let's take a look at this orb that you're talking about. So what's interesting about this story is I didn't say anything right away until these 3 pictures were taken, especially after the second one. So I had asked Tessa, because her dad had passed. I forgot when she said 2012, I think 2013. I know somewhere around there. Anyway, I asked her, could you do me a favor and could you show me with your arm in hand, how tall would your dad be? Right where that orb is where she put her arm up with her hand. So
there's a couple specks of light in it, looks like too.
Yeah. Almost like a violet or something. Like a violet white in a way, or purplish white. It's it's very interesting. But it was the only weird picture out of all the pictures that I had taken that day. But yeah, that to us just means that he was just with us that day for the photo shoot, basically, to enjoy being in nature with us, I guess. I would say Tessa would have her story better because she was mentioning a few things that I didn't know when we were going up there anyway until afterwards, after this picture was taken. That's when we started to talk more about it. But yeah, so that I say it's Tessa's story more just because she basically describes it as we were going up to this area, it almost seemed like she could hear her dad and smell her dad.
Oh, well, that then really ties in, because I mean, height, of course, can, but that can be, who knows? But that all ties in then. If she's hearing things and smelling how her dad smelled, because the olfactory senses kick in a lot with the paranormal stuff. So that's saying a lot. That's a cool share, cool photo, cool story, or experience rather. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Tell Tessa thank you too.
Oh, I already asked her about it beforehand.
So I'm sure you did. You do not need to be in the doghouse. So
nope, I do not.
All right.
But yeah, it's just one of those weird things where, is it really a coincidence though? Like when that's the only weird picture that comes out of, I don't know, let's just say 50 other pictures that we took that day.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that one. All right, Dummerston Vampire is next.
You must have forgotten that note then too.
What note?
Rabbit.
Oh, you told me to put that rabbits after the vampire. Did I mess that up? I have rabbits written down, but it's after Dummerston. But that's fine, whichever one.
Oh, I had it before. Yeah, I had it before, but that's all right. Which one would you like me to start with?
Oh, whatever you want.
Well, I guess we'll just start with rabbit because it kind of goes into like a weird animal omen in a way, or spiritual guide, I guess you could say. So to set this up, I will say in my life of 2007, there was a point where my mother and I weren't really seeing eye to eye. And my friend Glenn and his dad, who lived up north in Richford, which is like a 2-minute drive to the Canadian border, or a 5-minute walk to the Canadian border. So that's how far up north I was. So it takes about 2.5 hours to almost 3 hours from where I am just to get to where my friend Glenn used to live. And anyway, December of 2022, his dad had passed away, and he had called me to tell me that. And he wanted to tell me that because I used to live up there in Richford with him and his dad, because at the time of me getting kicked out of my mother's place at the time, because like I said, we weren't eye to eye. His dad was the only one that would allow me to come live with them. So in the end, his dad basically became like my second father. And I didn't really look at Glenn as a friend anymore. I looked at him like a brother from another mother kind of thing. Like he was my bro. And basically what happened was, from that point on, after he had called me to let me know that basically our dad passed away, I was just feeling for him, because I mean, I just knew how much his dad meant to him and how much he meant to me and stuff like that, because he had 2 rules when I lived with him. And the 2 rules, well, 3 rules. The 3 rules were: do not touch the laundry, do not cook, and make sure that you're not going to be home, or if you are going to be home, to at least call ahead of time to let us know that if you're going to be coming in late for dinner or not at all. And that was pretty much it. And anyway, so we were talking 24/7 after that. Me and Glenn were talking on the phone up until a few nights before he had passed away on May 10th, 2023. And he was about my age. He died because he became a very bad alcoholic after the fact that his dad had died and his dog had died, because the dog was basically attached to the father. And you know how that is. Death comes in threes. So, of course, Glenn had to be the third one. Now, at this time, I was, not really in the right shape to even think about my best friend now being gone, after just talking to him a few nights beforehand, and now knowing that I'm no longer going to be able to talk to my friend every single day for God knows how many hours, because sometimes it was a couple of hours, sometimes it was just 30 minutes, but it was always just enough for us to just make sure we were doing okay every day. I wanted to always make sure he was okay, because like I said, I knew how much his dad meant to him and stuff like that. But I also, again, looked at this as a second family thing. So, of course, they were my family when I needed them most. So the point to this rabbit, though, is I had the idea, because his birthday month was basically about 2 months away at this point. And I looked up what his animal would have been for a spiritual aspect. His was rabbit. By the time July rolled around, every single day I would see a rabbit come in to my life, whether it be going to work, coming home from work, being at work. There was always a presence of a rabbit or rabbits. And it got to the point where one day I was just like, you know what, Glenn? I know you're watching over me. I think you need to go check on your other family members to make sure they're okay, because I'm okay. I will be okay. From that point on, every day after that, I didn't really see that many rabbits. And to me, that was just a sign to basically say, like, that was him watching over me. And he understood the assignment to let me know that he was, in fact, still around, and he probably still is. But the fact that I told him that he should check on his other family members and add the rabbit of the outside world kind of dimmed for the sake of this. It just goes to show, like, I think people need to realize that sometimes the environment and the world around us can also show us something, and you might not even realize it, and it might go over your head. Like, I can give a few examples. Like, if you find random bird feathers just showing up in the path that you're walking, driving, doing something. I just actually just had a coworker of mine tell me that his son mysteriously found like a bird feather in his mouth guard piece for the sport that he played in. Why is that? That's weird. Well, he told me that his mother passed away. I told his father, my coworker, basically like, it sounds like your son is starting to recognize the signs of the spiritual realm, and that he should keep an eye on that. So that's my story about the rabbits.
Yeah, the loved ones, they definitely send signs. I mean, signs from my brother usually include the song Toto Africa. So I don't seek that out. It finds me at the strangest of times, and I know who that's from. So that's pretty cool. All right, well, now we can then, I guess, move to the vampire of Dummerston.
The vampire. So, oh boy. I'm gonna have to even look up the author's name so I don't even butcher that too. So anyway, yeah, Dummerston vampires. So in Vermont, I'll just say while I'm looking this up real quick, is Vermont is known for possibly 5 vampire tales. However, one I cannot find any meat to. So I'm just gonna say there's actually 4 vampire tales here, just because there's more meat to them than there are any time I try to look into this 5th possible one. So anyway, as most people know, when it comes to these weird towns, that there's like these historians that do like these books of like the history of the town, etc. Well, in this case, Dummerston had one. David L. Manfield, he did the history of the town of Dummerston. Now, I bring him up because what's fascinating to me, and you don't really see this that much even anymore, at least around here where I am, which is basically, you don't get these historians that even take down the folklore or the legends or anything anymore with the history of the towns anymore. In this case, David did. In Dummerston, there's a legend about the Spalding family, where basically within almost a period of 6 months after Captain Spalding passed, that each family member was dying so fast. And it got to the point where they discovered that there was this creepy vine that was growing from gravestone to gravestone of the family. Now, what makes this interesting too is that the family is not all together, and Captain Spalding is buried in a cemetery right across the street from a school for kids, and he's the only family member that's separated from the other family members. And that only happened because at the time the land was so wet and flooded with water that it would just it couldn't have been done, basically. And yeah, so basically what happened with this, why I'm sharing this vampire story, is because 1 October of 2023, I had the bright idea that I wanted to go find the family gravestones. And that's what I did with a friend, because I would figure that if I had somebody else with me, we could find the grave faster, which we did, especially in the second aspect, which was a big area, big, beautiful rural cemetery where, wow, like gorgeous cemetery. But anyway, what happened was, what I believe is, there was one specific grave in the first one where it was in the way back of the cemetery. Looked like it hadn't even been touched or visited or cleaned or anything in years. And all me and my friend did was we just walked up to it, kind of brushed it off a little bit, just so we could see if there was even a name attached to it, or if we could even read a name, because that's how old this was. And that was it. They didn't really do anything else besides just trying to look for the names for these family, just take some pictures, get some video, and that was it. Well, later on, when we finally got back, I grabbed everything, threw a video together, and then went to bed. So here we are, Sunday morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and my light switch, which is not like you got to pull a button up for on and off. Mine is a pull string. So the only way that light is coming on is if you pull the string. That light, my pull string light, turned on at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, of course, I shot out of bed because it's bright. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh, God, here we go again. I'm like, I acknowledge that you're trying to get my attention, but you have just disturbed my sleep. And I'm going back to bed now. Is that okay? And then I turned off my light, went back to bed. Nothing happened ever since then.
Always 3 a.m., right? You're like, really?
I mean, that's when it seemed like even, these voices and stuff like came in 2:30, 3 o'clock. I think I mentioned that maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if I even now told you those. So, yeah, I know the voices in the attic, but now I'm trying to remember if I even talked about that one.
Yeah, it's always a bummer when they just seem to not have boundaries, and especially when they disturb sleep, which we human beings really, really need, and we really enjoy. Those punks like to disturb our sleep. All right, the next one is Meteor ?
Yep. So, once again, October 2023, my local author was doing an event somewhere in Mount Holly, I think it was. And as I was driving to get there, it was like a pretty dark October night-ish. And all of a sudden, this like white light, which basically why I called it a meteor ? Is because that may have been what I thought, but at the same time, we always hear about these UAPs that just, have this weird glow to them that come crashing down and stuff like that. So I was just like, what the is that? Because it was so quick, so subtle. It had like a white streak that came shooting down, and like that was it. If I would have blinked, I never would have saw it, basically. So I just call it one of those like, well, was it a meteor or not? And I was also, while driving, trying to see how like the other cars were reacting to it. It was like us Vermonters, we just don't seem to care what goes on around, because everybody was just driving like they had to basically just go where they were going, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's pretty standard though. Or maybe they just didn't see it,
Oh yeah, I mean maybe.
But really, if most people would assume things that are not strange, so they probably just went, "Oh, meteor," and they just kept on driving. So it's probably not one of those. It's not like a mothership coming in to where like that scene out of ID4 where everyone stops and gets out of their car and they're like, "Oh, that's not probably gonna be good." So yeah, maybe they just they didn't see it, or it just wasn't that interesting to them.
It is hard to get people to talk nowadays in Vermont, so we like to keep things tight-lipped.
Yeah. I think that certain regions definitely seem to be tougher to get folks to talk. That's for sure. And it can take years for people to break through to get folks to talk. Look at Lyle Blackburn, in the Boggy Creek area. It took him years to go in there and getting them to trust him before they would share some of these encounters and experiences from that area. All right, so 2024, we are going to Wilson Castle.
Yes, and I think you have some from there, so that's good.
Yes, we do. Let's click in here.
Yeah, so Wilson Castle is a very nice place. It's I got two here. Okay.
Should we wait to share this because I forgot this one's a video. These are videos. Let's just wait.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can do the setup first.
Yeah. Well, it's fine. I was just gonna say Wilson Castle is one of those old castles in Vermont. It's the only old castle in Vermont. And this is known to be haunted. And at the time, I wouldn't say brush off these stories that it was haunted, but I'm one of those people where it's just like, yeah, I mean, maybe if I have a chance to actually go and capture stuff on my own, then maybe I could be like, yeah, there's something going on here. But when you start seeing these weird pictures showing up from other people, especially like this lady that shows up in mirrors and these kids that should not be there just showing up because they say there's a portal at Wilson Castle now and stuff like that. And oh man. So I guess again, this will fall into the category of Hubbardton Battlefield, which is there's so much that happened at the time of this investigation that I was invited on with a team that I'm good friends with, which I will just say right now before I forget before going into Wilson Castle. So I met them in 2013 with a couple members of theirs. Jason Warfeist is actually one of them, was one of them. But I met Jeff Stewart, who actually founded it in 2004. But anyway, they had invited me to 2015, going back real quick to Hubbardton. They had invited me to go check out Hubbardton Battlefield with their team because they thought what we had captured was pretty neat that they wanted to try for themselves. Long story short, it was a pretty quiet night that time when I went with them. Not that much was going on. It was interesting. And so yeah, unfortunately it wasn't really a bummer, but I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you just have that luck and sometimes you just don't have that crazy night. But yeah, so anyway, so Wilson Castle, this is the same team. This is like my second time now being with them, but with different members of the group that I've never met before. Just like these people don't even know who I am, but they agreed to allow me to come investigate with them. So basically, for anybody interested, and Shannon, same with you, future trip maybe to check it out for yourself. What Wilson Castle does is they give you an overnight stay option. So that is from 5 o'clock at night, the day one, from the time they close to the time they open the next morning, which is like 10 o'clock. So you're there from 5 p.m. to 10 a.m. the next morning. So you have all that hours to investigate. Is all yours. So we started at 8, and from there it was quiet. But as the hours started to get up there to midnight, to the witching hour, and etc., I mean, this is another one we would have to come back to basically even gather everything that had occurred there to try to even make sense of everything. But what I will share for you guys tonight is 2 EVPs, if you want to call it that. Well, one's an EVP. One is an actual disembodied voice in real time. That this is the first time I've ever heard a disembodied voice without a device. It was like the environment itself, like Shannon and I are talking right now. That's how this voice sounded like. So we'll take a look at the Sarah's room hello from Sarah's room.
Oh, it's like a device like going off or something.
Maybe it's one of the REM pods on the 3rd floor.
Maybe.
I just heard that too.
Come in here.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Would like to chat.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back.
Maybe it's one of the REM pods on the 3rd floor.
Maybe.
I just heard that too.
Come in here.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Would like to chat.
What was that you heard?
I heard like a sort of clinking almost, like a metal thing.
Yeah.
That
so
was
the
creepy.
hello.
That's why I went back immediately. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to that again.
Yeah, so that was awesome. So that was when we were all in Sarah's room. So we were all basically just crouched in a bedroom, basically, is what was going on. Sarah doesn't really like it when you sit on her bed or even try to do anything with her bed, really. So she usually kind of gets angry. She'll let you know, basically, if you are touching her bed in a way that she doesn't like it. But in this case, we're not touching her bed. We have maybe a few equipment on her bed, but it was enough so that she didn't seem to mind it. But why it sounded so quiet is because what happened was the investigator director there, that was basically the leader of this night, had a spirit box going on. But at one point, he shut it off for a minute because we could hear footsteps outside the door. And if you kind of watch the video, even when that hello was being said, that trip wire that you were seeing at the bottom of the video here, for the users, audio friendly version, basically it's a trigger rope where it will kind of show up the direction if it triggered of what direction something is walking by or something. Sometimes if it's near the rope, it will actually hold the light in as a solid light to basically indicate that it's standing right near the rope. But what I found interesting is when the footsteps that we heard outside the room, even prior, before the disembodied voice that we heard in real time, and which you can't really tell, but I have the camera in my hand, and as I heard hello, I literally swung the camera to the entry of the bedroom just to kind of be like, what the? And then as soon as that happened, I kind of got up to go and investigate afterwards. Basically like, hello? Is there somebody out here? You know? But just the fact that hello came into play, it was just like, wow. Like, I know people talk about it all the time, hearing these disembodied voices in real time without having equipment or whatever. The fact that I actually was able to hear it like that for its place was just incredible capture to me.
So what's the second clip then, Paul?
So the second clip is actually the spirit box. This time now, we got the spirit box rolling again. And this one is a name of a family member that used to live in the castle, which is Hench Wilson Castle. So in this case, John Wilson used to live there. He used to own the castle. So in this case, this next clip is John Wilson.
Have you figured out how to use this yet? Trying to help you a little bit. We're doing the frequency and the amplitude. There you go.
What's your last name?
Yeah, John Johnson. That's cool.
Yeah. It's hard to remember all the names. Wilton Castle has like a chalkboard just for the spirit names of who's actually there.
Jeez.
So we're trying to remember like everybody's name is really hard to do that.
Well, everybody go visit that place. That place sounds interesting. Portals and ladies and mirrors and kids and Sarah, good old Sarah, and John Johnson. All right, last but not least, the Bennington Woods. And of course, the name, excuse me, the name Bennington may ring in someone's head because of the Bennington Triangle.
That's right. Yeah, where a lot of weird everything just happened. So yeah, so this takes place literally a month after I had chatted with the folks from Small Town Monsters that were there to do some filming. So because of that, it made me remember that there was a hidden cemetery out in the woods that I haven't been to at the time of like 12 years. And anyway, it was like, oh, I want to go back there. Oh, wait, I have July 4th coming up in next month, basically. So I could always go there, take a day out and just hike, find these graves and do some investigation things and be on my merry way. That is not what happened. So what happened? Well, I got there at about 10 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to find the grave because I remember they weren't that far into the woods and just wanted to see if I could capture any EVP, spirit box, something just to kind of acknowledge who's there. Just to also just see what it looks like after not being there for 12 years. So what happened was what should have been a short hike took me 5.5 hours to even find these graves. And all I can say is I was on the path, and then I wasn't on the path, and then the GPS started to malfunction on my phone, dragging me deeper into the woods. And it just got to the point where I started to notice that, to the point where I stopped using my phone and I used my instinct of, I'm just going to walk until I can find a trail. And from there, once I find a trail, I know where to go. And yeah, so that's what happened basically. It was just something was messing with my phone GPS.
So how was it malfunctioning? It was just losing the route, and then it would try to reroute you, and it would take you further and further away? How was it malfunctioning?
It was malfunctioning in a way where what should have been north was not north.
Oh.
That's why
weird.
why it was dragging me further into the woods.
That's actually kind of different.
Yeah, and that is why like it just felt weird to the point where I would just basically like, yep, I'm done using my phone GPS. And because of course I had no water with me, no snacks or no nothing, because I wasn't planning to have this 5.5 hour weird incident happen. Oh, and if anybody is wondering, yes, I did find the graves. I only stayed there for maybe an hour because at that point I was already getting to the point where I needed food and water from all that unnecessarily hiking and rummaging through the wood that I just was just like, I'm going to come back again and do all this all over again, because whatever was going on with that GPS was just, if I kept going with that thing, I never would have probably have gotten out of the wood, because if I would have kept following in it, it would have brought me who knows where.
I wonder if you had a real compass, if it also would have been malfunctioning. You know how sometimes they'll spin or they're pointing the wrong direction. I wonder.
So I kind of found somebody who had an incident like that where it was a real compass, and it was doing something to his real compass too. It wasn't. I think it would. He described it as it wasn't pointing north in the way north should have been pointed until he got to a specific spot of the mountain, and then it started to act normal.
Yeah, and that makes you wonder, does that speak to what's in the ground, making electronics malfunction or a real compass malfunction, or is that something straight up paranormal where you're walking into some kind of a weird, like, missing 411 type portal, or, like, what's happening in places like that, right?
Yeah. So I mean, and I know, like, this will be like I don't want to say shameless plug, but I mean, basically what made me look into this more too was Joe, who you had on the podcast about the Pond Creek Bigfoot or something.
Pond Creek Monster.
Yeah, that one. He had messaged me to talk about like a strange vortex that was going on, and at the time, I didn't know they had that incident happen to them. I only had it happen to me. And so the fact that what they shared on their Monster Palooza podcast called the Vermontan edition, great name for a podcast episode, they describe also how Bennington was almost felt like it was having a weird vortex with time, and it was just like, that's interesting. And then that reminded me of like, that kind of reminds me like something that was going on with me in the wood there, so it was just like, that's strange. So yeah, that's pretty much about it.
You don't recall losing any time or thinking, oh, I thought it was 1 o'clock, and then you look at your clock, your watch or your phone, it's 3 o'clock or something. There's nothing weird like that though, right?
Not that I'm aware. I mean, I just know that when I got there, it was 10 o'clock because I had started to drive by like 9:15 that morning, because it would have taken me about an hour and 10 minutes to get to this spot to park. And then I would have had to gotten out to get ready to then start hiking to where these gravestones would be in the woods. So from there, all I remember was just by the time I stepped foot in the woods, 5.5 hours later, that's when I found the graves.
That's a long walk, that's for sure. Well, Paul, speaking of shameless plugs, make sure you let everybody know before we say goodbye where to find you.
Yes. Well, before I go, I think you have one bonus item too. But yes, before that bonus item, I will say for people interested, hauntedvermont.org, O-R-G. My T finally kicked in, I think. So, so everything is going on there. I have no idea what is going on in stores for Haunted Vermont this year, except for hopefully finding out more information regarding what is now in the works of the bonus items. So with that being said, I don't want to say any more, Shannon. So if you have that bonus item, I can't wait for you to even see this.
All right, go for it, Paul. You see that?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
So Shannon, you ready for this?
Ready.
So the death of Mayor L. Thomas. Mayor L. Thomas, did that ring a bell?
Maybe a little bit.
Thomas Dairy Farm.
Oh, Thomas Dairy Farm. Okay.
So this is the man behind Thomas Dairy Farm, Mayor L. Thomas, who died October 9th, 1909. Now, what makes this very interesting is that the guy from the lovely Vermont Historical Society, out of anything he could send me first, okay, about this, he sent me this newspaper article. Now, why did it seemed chilling to me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, ready for this? If we read this newspaper article, which is dubbed Death of Mayor L. Thomas, he's talking about how he died of Bright disease, and he's left behind a wife and 2 children. Now, if we read the article down a little bit, he had a son and daughter. Now, if we go back to the 2 chats, Shannon, between you and I, and Justin and I with you, Justin had a sister. He left behind a son and sister, or son and daughter. So the connection would be, were we dealing with Merritt when all that stuff was going on? And the reason why he was showing up is because there was a family there who had a son and daughter. And that is why he wasn't interacting with anybody else after we had moved out. Or is it because we found out too that the people that took over the farm that Justin family left behind when they moved out was the grandchildren of his family? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, belonged to the Rutland Milk Producers Association, having been president ever since its organization. Also a member of the Rutland Baptist Church.
Yep.
Deeply interested in the breeding of registered Holstein cattle and established a fine herd. Suffered an attack of acute Bright's disease, remaining unconscious from that time until his death. Is born in Pittsford, September 29th, 1852, and was the son of Mr. and Mrs. Orrin Thomas. Moved with his parents. Oh, that word is, when. I couldn't read. It's like a weird type. It's a typewriter, you can tell. Parents, when 2 years old, to the town of Rutland and had lived there ever since. Wow, that's cool. That is a heck of a tie-in, huh?
Yeah, and then like down at the bottom, it basically just said that that's where he left with the son and daughter, basically with the wife.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, also leaves a son, Orrin A. Thomas, and a daughter, Miss Mary F. Thomas. Ooh-wee. Oh, I love it. I love when there's little tie-ins like that because you just don't know. I mean, we don't know for sure, but that's so cool. Thanks for sharing that, Paul.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That is cool.
It's interesting. The last thing I just want to say too about Thomas Dairy, besides maybe if we have to have, if there's any other information that shows up, but basically, I just want to say is what started off at the farm, and then the guy who starts it dies from a disease, and then in 2020 we had the COVID pandemic, which caused the farm to go bankrupt. So his farm also ended by a disease.
Yeah. Jeez. Sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. Well, Paul, thank you so much for all the time today and for sharing what evidence you have. I know that people appreciate that out there. I very much appreciate that. So go visit Paul and check out his work at hauntedvermont.org.